Heyo, and what is up, gang? Thank you for checking out Sledgehammer TV tonight. It is Monday night, April the 2nd, 2018, and Monday Night Raw came to us from Atlanta, Georgia, and I didn't expect it to be good, but I didn't expect it to be this bad, and we are here to bring the hammer down on Monday Night Raw, like we always do on the newest, fastest rising podcast in all of YouTube, baby! The Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. Let's do it.
The Sledgehammer Wrestling Show.
All right, wrestling fans, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Nick Nightmare. Along with me, as always, is the world's greatest tag team, Thor, the wrestling god of thunder, and the world heavyweight champion of all the microphones in all the world, Blue the Snowball, and we don't take any nonsense from anybody, not even Monday Night Raw, as tonight's go-home show towards WrestleMania 34 just might be the worst go-home show I've ever seen. Like I said, I didn't expect it to be good at all. You know, there is absolutely nothing that Raw is bringing to the table every single week that is making you more and more excited for what they are offering up at WrestleMania. In fact, the one match that's got anybody's interest at all is the one match where we're not sure if there's even going to be a match, which is John Cena and The Undertaker. And if you don't know for sure, and you're sitting there, and you're one of those people that are going, oh man, I don't know if The Undertaker's going to be a WrestleMania. Stop it. Stop it. Let's use your brain. What part of you thinks for 1 minute that the WWE would spend 4 weeks building towards a match and then actually not have that match go down? What they did in this scenario was actually the one good thing they have done on this road to WrestleMania. Whether or not it happened generically or it was predetermined by some writer somewhere, then kudos to that guy. You know, but I think this has more to do with the fact that The Undertaker just is doing everything he can to be in tip-top shapes. He doesn't need to be traveling all over the place. You know, he needs to be focused, he needs to get ready, and he needs to get his motorcycle all shined up and ready to come out as the American Badass at WrestleMania 34 this Sunday. If you don't believe that's going to happen, then you shouldn't be watching wrestling. If you allow them to hook you in and make you buy into this whole, oh, John Cena's just going to be a fan at WrestleMania, then you're a buffoon. You're a buffoon, and that's me being nice about it. I was going to say something much worse, because that's what you really are. Don't be a numbskull. Use your brain. Of course John Cena is going to fight The Undertaker at WrestleMania. It doesn't need to be advertised. It doesn't need to be hyped. John Cena's done a fantastic job by himself of making you guys all believe that this match isn't going to happen. Even though we all have known for months that this was John Cena's road to WrestleMania. It's a fact. It's going to happen. They're leaving it as an open-ended angle. It's the hanging surprise. It's going to be the one big pop of WrestleMania 34. Expect it, because it's going to happen. The one interesting thing they had, the one good moment on the whole night, came in the form of something we've seen every single week for the last 3 weeks in John Cena's promo. Did he say anything different? No. He actually was philandering to the crowd. He was putting over Rusev Day and Elias, which, you know, good for him for doing that. You know, that's great. For giving them 2 minutes through his lips and getting the crowd to pop for them. That's good. Giving the guys a little bit of a rub. But essentially, it's all for nothing. It's all pomp and circumstance, and he's just blowing smoke and kissing ass to the fans, getting the fans wrapped around his little finger, getting them all led up in a chant. We all know what's going to happen. All right, so there was nothing special, nothing tremendous about that. The one thing I was worried about was that The Undertaker was going to come out, because to bring him out now with 6 days to go would just be asinine, and I totally expected them to do something like that, because this is the WWE we're talking about. Just look at the rest of this show. From start to finish, asinine. The most asinine of which started right at the beginning with this photo op, this bullshit face-to-face between the McMahon-Helmsley dynasty and Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle. The two clowns. The two giddy morons. What is she smiling about? These people, Triple H and Stephanie, have berated her. They have put her down. They have claimed ownership of her. They've done everything they can to embarrass and belittle Ronda Rousey, and she's coming out there smiling with Kurt Angle. Happy to be here, everybody. Now, I understand she might be nervous. And when people get nervous, they smile. But you're Ronda Rousey. How nervous can you be? How nervous can you be? You used to stand toe-to-toe with some of the toughest women in the world, breaking arms and winning championships, and you allow yourself to be put through a table by Stephanie McMahon. Monday Night Raw, starting tonight with a segment to put Stephanie McMahon over at the expense of Ronda Rousey, making her look like a complete joke, is unacceptable. Unacceptable. This is the same Ronda Rousey that just 2 weeks ago judo flipped Triple H. Triple H was just going to reach for her. She had the instinct and the reflexes to grab a 300-pound man and flip him into a table, but she didn't see Stephanie McMahon coming. The whole world seen her coming. Everybody in the crowd could see her coming. She allowed herself to be put through a table by a corporate executive, a UFC champion, a legit athlete, the female equivalent of Brock Lesnar. And you're letting Stephanie McMahon clumsily toss you through a table, barely with the impact enough to break it. The table barely broke, because this is a joke. This is ridiculous. Why are we watching this? Do you want people in the crowd to actually try to buy into the fact that Stephanie McMahon is a credible threat to a Ronda Rousey? Are you drunk? Vince McMahon and Kevin Dunn have lost their minds. If this is the direction in which they want to feature the biggest woman star that is ever going to set foot in a WWE ring. It's bad enough she's got to play opposite of McMahon so that they can hog up this mainstream spotlight, right? But now on top of that, we got to embarrass her by making her take spots from Stephanie McMahon. Ronda Rousey hasn't even gotten to do anything, and she's getting put through tables. How is that good building? Is that building towards this match in any positive light? You got her coming out there not looking like she's taking anything seriously, barely delivering her lines. She's talking like a quiet little girl in the corner, like that one shy girl in class when she gets called on. Yes, Mrs. This, I know the answer and I'm going to tell you. Speak up. Say it with your chest, fighter. Where's your nerves? I'm trying to be patient with it. But if you're a superstar, you're a superstar. You used to go out in front of thousands of people to kick people's ass. And you used to talk trash in the UFC. What's the problem now? I can tell you what the problem is. The problem is the scripted garbage that they're feeding her that doesn't feel natural. It sounds forced and it sounds ridiculous. Do you think for 1 minute we believe that she gave a shit about anything she said tonight to Stephanie McMahon and vice versa? Did any of that matter? Of course you know this was going to go badly, but I expected the men to do all the breaking of things and have a nice little stare down between the two dominant females. Instead, we got the complete opposite. We got the McMahons' abuse of power. Clearly cut. They say they make the rules. They also write the show. And they made this happen so that people are afraid that Stephanie's going to have a chance. Are you serious? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The quality of the writing on this show was so bad. As far as some of the verbiage, they couldn't think of anything better for Nia Jax to say than to tell Alexa Bliss she's going to squash her like a little bug. How original. How original is that? while we're on that topic, let's talk about Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax. What the hell was going on tonight with the women's division? Why in God's name is Alexa Bliss having a tag team match when she's going one-on-one with Nia Jax this weekend, and her opponent is Asuka, who's supposed to be on the other show building towards that match, and there's so little talent on the women's division, and this was so thrown together last minute that the WWE had nobody better to give Asuka than Dana Brooke? How does that even make sense? Dana Brooke's been part of Titus Worldwide. She's effectively nothing. She means nothing. She is nothing. You could have given her a hamburger. Say, here's a cheeseburger from McDonald's. Go put that out there as your partner. It would have been more effective than a Dana Brooke. Are you fucking kidding me? The absolute worst female on the roster. That's who you put. And then the whole match became about Dana Brooke being so bad that she's going to be the reason that Asuka's going to lose and break her undefeated streak in this tag team match. That wouldn't count. That wouldn't count. We're talking about solo matchups here. Asuka doesn't have a string of tag team victories to add into this thing. What are they doing? Or for Nia Jax to come out at the end and then they want to just blow Asuka to the side like she means nothing, and then we're going to have some physicality between Alexa and Nia leading up towards Sunday, all because they want to revert to this Mean Girls Divas era bullshit where you got Alexa and Mickey trash-talking Nia Jax and putting her down at every turn. What happened to Be a Bully, Be a Star? They're not sponsoring that campaign anymore. We're going to turn everybody into a big bully. We're going to talk about Nia Jax's blubber. We're going to talk about how big she is. We're going to put her down. And then we're going to have Nia Jax sitting there with this ridiculously scripted garbage promo where she's trying to be self-confident. Self-confidence is not scripted. It's natural. It's there. There was no talk of their real-life relationship. There was no talk of anything real at all. This was a bullshit fluff piece where you had Nia Jax sitting there trying to convince the world that she's comfortable in her body and she's strong and she's confident, but she can't even deliver this fucking interview without stumbling all over her words. You know why? Because it's uncomfortable. You know why? Because that's real, and that's the real part of life that she's trying to get past her. You want to force her to confront something that she's been throwing to the side and been handling on social media her whole life and been handling in her real life since she's a young girl. This is not the reality we should be focusing on. We should be focusing on the friendship. How did they become friends? We don't know anything about their history. Why is Alexa suddenly turning on her? It's not because she's fat. That can't possibly be the reason. But that is the reason and the motivation for this whole women's title feud. It's not even about the championship. I didn't once hear Nia Jax say, I want that belt. I heard her sit there saying, I'm strong in my body. I'm strong and confident in myself. And then she goes and almost starts to cry. And then she's like, oh, well, I got a message for Alexa Bliss. I'm going to squash you like a bug. Are you serious? That's the best you had for her. Whoever wrote this segment and is in charge of this whole women's title angle, if there's one person at the head of this thing, if there's a whole committee of them, they should all be fired. This is not the proper way to be featuring women while you're in the middle of a women's evolution. The best thing you got going is Sasha Banks versus Bayley. It's the most real feud. It's the most talented women in ring that you have on the roster. They should be the two fighting for the championship at a WrestleMania. Athleticism being rewarded, not cattiness, not soap opera bullshit. I want to see women compete. I don't want to see that bullshit. If I want to see that, I'll watch Total Divas. Ridiculous. It's disrespectful and harmful to the division. How do they not see that? You're reverting backwards to something you're trying to move past. Why do women have to be catty and picking on each other in high school bullshit in order to have a match? Why can't it just be about, hey, I'm better than you. No, I'm better than you. That belt says we're the best. Let's go at it. That's the Sasha Banks Bayley story that they abandoned and threw into this retarded women's battle royal, the Golden Uterus Cup. The fuck out of here. This show was an atrocity. The one matchup tonight that we could take solace in was Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins. An absolutely fantastic matchup. We can see already that this triple threat match at WrestleMania can quite be the match to steal the show. It just might turn out to be. Just based off of what we've seen out of these two tonight. You'd think they'd want to save something for WrestleMania, but they were out there with something to prove tonight. You add The Miz into this mix, it's going to get a lot more interesting. You add The Miz to the mix tonight on commentary, probably the worst move you ever made. Do you know what's wrong with a new dad? Now, I could say this because I was a new dad. Okay, I was there, and I did what The Miz did. You start talking to your friends at work, you start going all off, no matter who you're talking to. You could be talking to the bus driver, you could be talking to the guy at the deli, you could be talking to anybody. You'll be like, hey, you got kids? I got kids now, man. It's the greatest thing ever. She's beautiful, she's this, she's that. And I was gushing all over my little baby, too. Probably inappropriate in some moments, like the guy in the elevator that don't know me from Abraham. And I'm like, hey, buddy, I had a baby. You got a baby? Isn't it great? We got parents. We're awesome. That's great. You know, congratulations to the Miz and Maurice. Fantastic. Little Monroe Sky, right? How many times did we have to hear it tonight, Monroe Sky? God bless you, baby girl. But probably the worst move ever to put a brand new father only days removed from having his baby daughter on a microphone. Now, was it entertaining? At points, yes. But the big deal is how it just kind of took away from the match that was being performed in the ring, which was fantastic. It was a great match. If the match sucked, the commentary would have made the match better. But the match was really good. So the commentary was distracting. Not even so much when The Miz was doing his thing. It was more when Cole was fishing for father's bullshit stories from The Miz. And the coach wanted to talk about his daughter. And it just started to go off the rails. Talking about kids and shit. And then all of a sudden they turn around. Oh, look at this great match. And then they started to pay attention like to the match towards the last 2 or 3 minutes when it was really, really getting good. But let's keep The Miz off the mic for a little while. You know, we don't want to make this a little too obnoxious. I understand that you want people to hate The Miz and his deal is to be obnoxious on the mic. And being a new father is the best way to be an obnoxious retard and just keep going on and on and on. And I'm sure he was purposely doing it to egg us on because he's a genius at what he does on the microphone. But let's rein it back just a little bit. Let's not give him that much of the microphone spotlight, you know. It was a little annoying after a while because the match was so great. And we did see Seth Rollins come out on top after he hit them with the stomp. He hit Finn Balor with the stomp and got the 3 count. The only thing you could take away from this, Seth Rollins got the victory tonight. The Miz is not going to retain at WrestleMania, so I fully expect Finn Balor to win this match at WrestleMania. More on that on the preview and prediction show coming up this weekend. What else did we have on this show tonight? This show, like I said, was friggin' garbage. Now, yes, definitely want to talk about... Let's continue with the women. Let's go on back to the women. Bayley versus Sonya Deville. Could have done away with this match. Definitely didn't need it. However, the presence of Crap Solution is really what brought it down. And as you could have predicted, they got involved before the end of the match, right? And then Bayley would get the win, despite the distraction by Mandy Rose, and then Crap Solution will attack. And then Sasha Banks comes out for the save, which I thought was odd, being that they're been in the middle of this I'm better than you thing, this feud between them, that should be the main feud in the women's division, period. And it breaks down. Sasha Banks makes the save, wants Bayley to raise her hand. Bayley's like, I ain't gonna raise your hand. And then they start fighting. And it got interesting. And I was like, all right, good. We got the brawl going on. What they should have done was allow this brawl to continue all night long. You know, let it go from ringside into the fans, out into the arena, and then the cameras can't follow them. And then after this segment, you could have went back, oh, we just caught up with Sasha Banks and Bayley in the parking lot. They're outside. They're over here. They're on the street. And allow it to build all night. And then you would conclude it in this stupid women's battle royal. But it would have made it much more interesting. And I think this is the kind of feud that needs something like that. Or not that it needs it, but it would definitely be able to perform to the level we expect with an angle like that. These two girls would throw each other into the street to get run over by a truck if it meant to get this match over. Or meant to get the main event or get the title match. These girls, when they are against each other, are the ultimate rivals. And when you have segments like that, it makes it more interesting. But instead, while we have the brawl going on and it gets interesting, we have Crap Solution come back and break it up again. Why? Why? Would have been much better to let them go. Even if you would have had all 6 of the other girls come out and separate them, would have been better than just have Mandy Rose and Sonya come back and do what? And stop them from fighting, and then it's over. It literally did nothing for anything. Sasha and Bayley is going to now be on the pre-show, as WWE made it a point to announce to all of us that the 3 matches on the pre-show will be the Women's Battle Royal, the Andre Battle Royal, and the Cruiserweight Championship, which is a shame, which is a goddamn shame. We talked about that one. Oh my goodness. Brains Strowman. I feel like I had no brains when I watched this part of the night. I didn't expect them to tell us who Braun's partner was. I had no expectation of him coming out from the back at all, no matter who it is. But when he came out dressed up like Big Dick Dudley, I thought he was going to at least say, I'm Braun Dudley, or something like that. But no, he's Brains Strowman. Because, you know, brains versus brawn. Right? That's a phrase. So his name is Braun. Let's use brains. Not funny. Not funny at all. It would have been much better if you would have had him call himself a Dudley. That would have been great. He would have come out, I'm Braun Dudley. Would have been way more entertaining. Instead, we got Brains. Right? And Brains makes his way to the ring, takes off his glasses and his shirt, and it's Braun Strowman. And Michael Cole and Jonathan Coach want to act surprised like they didn't know it was Braun Strowman in the brain suit. Are you serious? Who's writing this show? You're making your staff look like fucking imbeciles. Worse than they actually are. I know Michael Cole and Coachman, respectively, are both imbeciles. But not that bad. You really want to make them look stupid. Oh my God, look, it's Braun Strowman. Oh my God, it was Braun Strowman. Stop it. Stop it. Braun Strowman tangled up with the Bar. Didn't have a match. They said it was going to be a match, but it wasn't a match. Whatever. That just led to more nonsense as we had Goldust show up on the screen. He had a little Princess Bride tribute. He's not the only one that can quote the Princess Bride. And, you know, because Andre the Giant was in that movie, he's going to be in the Andre Battle Royal. He pulled out a line from Andre's movie, The Princess Bride, and I thought it was great. But his whole purpose in this Battle Royal is what? To lose. Goldust isn't going to win the Andre Battle Royal. Woken Matt Hardy might. It definitely seems like they're positioning him to be this year's winner. The way he was so infatuated with Andre's effigy on the statue of the Humongous Wonder number 8. I love it. It's great. But now it's being put to the pre-show. Matt Hardy came back with his brother last year to the biggest ovation you will have heard at WrestleMania in the last 5 years, at least. And now he's being put on the pre-show. With everybody else that they have absolutely no idea what to do with. They had a perfect opponent for him to build and lead him towards a huge match at WrestleMania where he could be featured on his own, in his woken wisdom, against a formidable opponent in the Sinister Eater of Worlds, Bray Wyatt. And we should have had the Ultimate Deletion at WrestleMania. They could have done it like they did the Hollywood Backlot Brawl. You could have shown the filmed segments throughout the night and then have it conclude in the middle of the ring live at WrestleMania as if it was happening throughout the night all along, with the backdrop being New Orleans. That would have made it even better. It could have been creepy. They could have did the whole voodoo thing. You got simultaneously the vibe from the Hardy compound and the Wyatt compound in a place like New Orleans. You know the Hardys are from North Carolina. Bray Wyatt's got that whole southern thing. It would have been a perfect marriage of everything to showcase him at WrestleMania. Instead, he's going to be in the Battle Royal for this useless trophy that is going to do nothing. Now, the WWE has said this year whoever wins this trophy is said to have big plans in place for the winner this year. We'll have to see, because they said that about each previous winner as well, just using different words. And Jonathan Coachman having the nerve to say that it launched the careers of Cesaro and Mojo Rawley and Baron Corbin, he's a jerk. That's more of that imbecile stuff. He's just reading what they tell them as if we don't know what the deal is. Nobody that's won the Andre the Giant Battle Royal has had their career significantly impacted by that. Cesaro's success, as he is the only true success out of the whole lot, has come by mistake and by way of a tag team that he happened to fall into that just happened to work out in everybody's best interest. So it had nothing to do with the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, you ass clown. We saw Woken Matt Hardy versus Goldust. Two superstars that debuted in the mid-90s, wrestling in the middle of the card in 2018. I definitely thought this could have the potential to be great. And it started out that way. These two, like I said, seasoned veterans, should be able to tell a fantastic story, even though this match was dead cold. There's no feud behind it. There's no meaning to it. It's just a random matchup to promote the Battle Royal, and I thought it was going to be great. Matt Hardy started out absolutely wonderful, applauding Goldust's thing. That's his new thing, applauding his opponent's moves and, you know, trying to be their cheerleader at the same time as he's their opponent, which is, I think it's just fucking split so crazy, and I love it. But this match was over before it got started. They didn't give these guys any time to do anything. I didn't expect them to. And I actually think that given the proper backdrop and some good attention to details, this could be a fantastic next feud for Matt Hardy going into this next wrestling year coming out of WrestleMania. Matt Hardy versus Goldust, if they allow Goldust to be taken seriously, as I've been begging for them to do all year long, like you've seen a little bit tonight, this has potential. If they nurture it and care for it, but they won't. This happened tonight, it's over, and it'll be gone, never to be seen again. Who knows what they have in store for us. Just like John Cena trying to summon The Undertaker, we're trying to summon some more good out of this episode of Monday Night Raw. Elias, of course, Elias is always good. Who wants to walk with Elias? We do. The whole damn WWE universe does. John Cena made a point to even, make that known. But he got a match with Heath Slater tonight. Thank God he won, and he won with ease. But we still have absolutely no idea what Elias's trajectory is towards WrestleMania 34. Is he going to be Braun Strowman's tag team partner? With him not announcing his entry into this Battle Royal, it seems more and more likely that that's where he's going to end up on Sunday. Maybe Samoa Joe's not ready yet. Maybe they're holding Joe for something else. Maybe it won't be Neville like I've been hoping for. I'm actually thinking it might be Big Cass. I don't know if he's ready to come back, but imagine that team of Braun Strowman and Big Cass. That might be something pretty cool. I might be able to get on board that. Finally give Cass his moment. He never got that tag team title reign he deserved because of that little runt he was with and because of the injury that befell him due to his own clumsiness. I think that would be interesting as well, but we'll have to wait and see. Tonight we got Elias versus Heath Slater for absolutely no fucking reason at all. Just wasting my time and wasting these guys. We talked about Asuka and Dana Brooke and all that fucking nonsense, which was ridiculous. And the show went off the air with Roman Reigns following this Easter weekend parting a sea of superstars like Moses parted the Red Sea. Giving one line. I guess the guys didn't need much for them to say, you know what? Yeah, we're going to let you go and attack Brock Lesnar. We had a handful, not the entire roster, but we had a handful of Raw superstars standing in the way of Roman Reigns as he wanted to make his way to Brock Lesnar after Paul Heyman came out and says what Paul Heyman says week after week after week at this time. I just want this over with. At this point, I'm not going to say anything bad about the segment. You all knew what was coming. He parted them like Moses parted the Red Sea, and then walked through them like the King of Kings, with his loyal subjects to his left and right, all ready to bow down and stroke the Samoan cock so that Vince McMahon can get his cup filleth and drink it down, that sweet nectar he loves from Roman's nuts. Because that's what this whole main event thing was. It was just to glorify and get people behind Roman Reigns. Did we hear "Let's Go Roman" chants? I heard them. I'm not going to ignore them. But all you people on Twitter tonight that after the show want to go on the attack and say, see, Roman's over. Roman's not over. Roman is not over. A pocket of fans chanting "Let's Go Roman" while this thing was just getting started does not make the man over. The end of this encounter, when Roman Reigns hit Brock Lesnar with 5 Superman punches, and then he picked up the Universal Championship and was booed. You gonna tell me you didn't hear it? There were no fucking cheers. He was being booed. And then when he got surprise attacked and landed into the arms of the Beast and got hit with the F5, a smattering of cheers was heard. It was not a huge, gigantic boom for Brock Lesnar this week like it was last week, but it was there. But the thing that they need to take away from this is not whether or not we heard the "Let's Go Roman" or you heard the boos at the end. I want you guys to think back to any of your favorite WrestleMania moments, right? We've been covering WrestleMania moments on the channel. We got our 1-minute WrestleMania moments up on here. If you want to check those out, they'll be linked in the annotation up above. But think about any of them. And on that lead up into them, or any great show that you can watch from the Attitude Era or beyond, when the WWE had a truly great show and they had a really great babyface superstar going up against some treacherous heel, and they were doing things like you saw tonight with Roman and Brock, the crowd would be electrified. There would not be a person in their seats. People would be moving and frenzied and screaming. There was no approval or disapproval. There was just, whoa! That was fucking awesome. When Kurt Angle came out on the milk truck. When Stone Cold came out on the beer truck. Anytime Stone Cold stunned anybody, the crowd just exploded. It didn't matter whether he was loved or hated. It could have been Bret Hart. It could have been Shawn Michaels. It could have been Vince McMahon. It could have been Hulk Hogan. It could have been Daniel Bryan. If Stone Cold Steve Austin stunned Daniel Bryan, not one person in the arena is going to boo Stone Cold Steve Austin. It's just going to be an electric moment that's going to just blow up the crowd. That's what's lacking. There's no emotion. The crowd doesn't care. I don't care about anything, especially pertaining to this Universal Championship. The Intercontinental title, it's got my interest. The Women's Championship, could care less. Could care less. And I'm one of the biggest Alexa Bliss guys you will ever know in your life. And all I could see is them wasting her away. this whole year, this whole championship reign, just a waste. What else? The tag team title matchup depends on who the partner is. I still don't agree with the whole thing right from the get-go. Braun Strowman was not officially an entrant in that Battle Royal. He entered himself in with no permission granted or nothing. He just walked in and won a Battle Royal he wasn't a part of, even though he doesn't have a champion and he's not part of a tag team, and they allowed it to stick. I don't agree with the way we got here, but depending on who the partner is for this championship match, we'll have to wait and see. I'm glad they didn't reveal it tonight. I'm much more looking forward to seeing who it is at WrestleMania. Just like The Undertaker, the fact that they didn't show tonight means that it's got to be somebody pretty big. Or at least somebody that they're viewing in a big light. If it's not a big return, like a Neville or a Big Cass, then it's got to be Samoa Joe. And if it's not Samoa Joe, it's got to be Elias. Elias doesn't really make sense, but his recent history with Braun Strowman would maybe lead Braun Strowman to have a little respect for him or something. I don't know. And he'd welcome him into the fold. There was just so much wrong with this show tonight. I know I'm going to forget something. If I did, feel free to call me out on it in the comment section, which is always yours. One last thing I want to talk about before we sign off on this episode tonight. The commercials tonight. Now, commercials are one thing. I understand you got to pay your bills, right? And you got to feature your sponsors. It's something that we do. Hello, Clutch Chairs, right? We want, the t-shirts to sell. We do our things. We do our commercial things. I understand how business works. But when you're in the middle of a fantastic matchup between two of your top babyface superstars, is you're trying to sell us on the Intercontinental Championship match, and you go to a commercial for the main event match on the opposing brand's card for WrestleMania, I start to question things a lot more than usual. What was that spot all about? They couldn't have waited for the match to end to air a commercial for the WWE. Like, it was a WWE commercial within a match. That's the first time I've ever seen that happen. They've never cut away from a match to just have like a WWE Network commercial and then come back. I mean, not unless you're on the network. I'm talking about on television, on network television, not on WWE Network. Because that's all this show was about tonight. It seems like they cared more about getting subscribers to the WWE Network than they did about pushing any of the agendas towards the WrestleMania show. They were begging for subscribers more than I do on one of my shows every single week. Atrocious. An absolute fucking atrocity. Let me know what you guys thought of tonight's show. I don't really have much more to say on it. It was the most lackluster, underwhelming, go-home show to a WrestleMania I think I have ever seen. We will talk more about all of this on the preview and prediction show for WrestleMania 34 coming up this Friday. We will be back here tomorrow night for SmackDown Live's go-home show, and hopefully it'll be a lot less painful than this was, and the hammer hopefully don't have to come down on my head again, because that's how it felt, man. It felt like I was just banging my head with old Thor here, just over and over, just striking myself with the lightning and the thunder. It was absolutely horrible, this episode of Raw. I hated it. Absolutely hated it. That is going to do it. Don't forget to check out all of your WrestleMania moments in a minute, which are up live on this channel. We have 3 so far. There will be a couple of more before WrestleMania Sunday this week. Keep your eyes glued to the channel for those. We also have everything you need on your professional wrestling road to WrestleMania will be covered here. We got the NXT preview and predictions coming to you guys as well. We are going to cover NXT TakeOver Orlando. We will do a Hall of Fame special as well, and so much more to come. There is so much already on the channel, just like we featured a story on the Daniel Bryan comeback, all of the reviews and everything from last week. Everything you missed is there for your eyes. Make sure you go check it out. And when you do, make sure, just like for this video right now, smash that thumbs up and then share this video with all of your wrestling buddies. Make sure we grow the family here at the Sledgehammer TV show. the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. Make it grow and expand beyond all parameters, because we were looking to get to 1K before Sunday. Every day that goes by looks like it might happen less, but you never know. We might have a good night as we're leading up into this Road to WrestleMania. Hit that subscribe button right now. Join the hundreds of fans already that know where it's at for the most honest coverage of professional wrestling, and we bring the hammer down with truth, justice, and fun. Because that's why we're all here, is to have a little bit of fun. Thank you guys so much. That is going to do it. This is Blue the Snowball Microphone, the World Heavyweight Champion of Microphones. This is Thor, the Wrestling God of Thunder. I am the legend, Nick Nightmare. Anybody got a peanut? That is going to do it. We are out of here, and we will see you tomorrow night for SmackDown Live right here on the Sledgehammer Wrestling Show. Yeah. And, as always, don't forget, shirt!